This handy reference form makes it a lot easier.
Well, I don't want to, as chair, choose which ones we want to necessarily talk about. There's some, fairly appropriate ones here that have not been done. For example, the letter from the Surgeon General. We had several meetings with him. He's now gone, so it's a new person and a new time. Do we want to go back to the new Surgeon General and to if you will, that visit? Morris, you want to comment on it? You were one of the participants.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that right now is a good time to go back to that. I think we need to wait and see what some of the studies on the XMRV, whether or not it's replicable and whether or not the blood supply has anything to do with it. Once we have that kind of information, I think we'd have a lot more ammunition to go back to the Surgeon General. Yeah.
The only problem I see with that is that certainly it will be nice if, in fact, the isolation is reconfirmed and we sort of have a reason why people get chronic fatigue, at least 60–70% of them. But there are educational things. We had actually went to the Surgeon General to legitimize people with the diagnosis of chronic fatigue and to have him say, physicians need to take care of these patients. These are.
It was trying to get him to publish an alert letter for physicians, for community health services around the country as a wake-up tool to say, hey, you guys have to be looking for this. And I recall from our meeting with him, he was less than awed by the amount of data that we had to show him. And so I think to go to the Surgeon General with more data, I think would be much more helpful. And if we can wait a little bit longer and see what the studies show with this particular virus, then it becomes more of an urgent issue, and then the new Surgeon General can't help but take it more seriously than the last one did.
And we do have a new Surgeon General. Just last night, Dr. Regina Benjamin was confirmed as the Surgeon General of the United States. So, while it might seem timely to be on her doorstep this morning,
probably not a good idea.
Yeah, you would face the same problem. And I talked to the team staffing the Surgeon General yesterday. I just ran into them. And they are acutely aware of this issue, and they're very keen to try to help this committee advance what information is out there. They're aware of the XMRV, and they also are excited and say, if this pans out, we've got the blood supply, all these other issues, then that's the time.
Right.
So they're aware, and it's just a matter of, this recommendation doesn't go away. And if we can have that queued up by the spring meeting, it might have to wait till fall, depending on the processes. But,
I agree.
You've got
Chris.
I was just going to move to another one.
Chris,
you've got Chris and
Nancy.
Don't move.
After that, I think we should take a 5-minute stand-up break for all the people who have to use the facilities.
Sure.
So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll take a break.
I was just
3, 4. Chris?
We'll move to another one until we're done with this one.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Okay. Well, on this one, the 3 points in that letter, one, of course, was the awareness which can be driven home with a virus. But please, this pediatric case definition and the pediatric facetious whatever, that is my heart was breaking over the stories of these children being yanked from their families and them spending tens of thousands of dollars just to be allowed to parent their children. And I've seen it over and over in my own practice. That has to be a part of the Surgeon General's message. This is real, this is real in kids too. It's important.
5 times I testified on those issues, and it is heart-wrenching. Okay.
Chris is
Kristen.
As we look at the grid that was prepared, the things that are yeses on here are things that were a one-time effort, it seems, in terms of communicating about chronic fatigue syndrome to providers. And I think that that is part of the issue that we're facing, is that these have to be sustained efforts. They can't be a one-time notice to AHEX that, please inform all the providers that this provider education program is available through the CDC. And I think that we've heard testimony yesterday and today, that those information programs have not been updated recently, and the guidelines are not as specific as they could be or as helpful as they could be. And so again, I think we always have to come back to the fact that CFS is not well known to much of the provider community, and these efforts cannot be just a one-time thing. They have to be sustained and reiterated and improved upon and continued. And we have to figure out what are some of the networks that exist within DHSS to do that. And so, and as I said yesterday in our minutes from the Education Subcommittee, it took us a while to figure out that AHEC was a potential place to direct some efforts. And there might be some other divisions within this department that could be networks by which some of this information can be distributed. But we also have to make sure that the information being distributed is of high quality and as up to date as possible, reflects this new research that will be coming, and that it is not just one-time efforts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think my comment follows up on that. I was looking at no's that from my perception at the time, we didn't think were a big ask, that we thought this was eminently doable. And there's one here, it says, Secretary facilitate a task force or working group to establish an ongoing interagency and interdepartmental effort to coordinate school, family, financial, and healthcare support for children and young adults with CFS.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's.
Among the agencies, they didn't seem to think that that was a too big a problem if they were instructed to do it.
Okay, well, maybe what we need to do is after the lunch break, if everyone can really read this, we could quickly decide on which ones need a fairly simple statement or a restatement, and others we just don't comment on, and a pocket veto pushing those, and that's what might be worthwhile doing. Okay, Chris, and then Cindy? No? Rebecca?
Has
Nancy?
Cheryl arrived?
All right, well, because everyone. All right, now let's take a 5-minute break and reconvene back here at 5 of, right, just before the hour starts. 5 of the hour. Thank you.
Well, obviously Cheryl is a longtime acquaintance but friend of this committee. She's been very helpful in providing insights many times in the past, and once again was invited to come to talk as in the open session about what the peer review process is, how it's become, how it has evolved at NIH, and where some things may be going. So she's got some fresh data. The presentation's being made available. So Cheryl, your slides are queued up. I think you've been told how to, so we should be good to go. Give it a second, because it, yeah.
It's good to see everyone again.
Amanda, you told her which button to push, because
There's a button you have to push on the top to start.
Okay, there you
go.
Okay.
And you keep pushing that one.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be back. We've been busy in peer review, and I think as applicants have been quite busy too. It's been an unprecedented year for NIH, and I think things are really wonderful, and I hope to have some good things to tell you. So with that, let me tell you about some statistics. Of course, these are now old. What happened in peer review in 2008, which is our usual year of business, where we receive about 77,000 applications. I'm not sure the pointer can even reach from here, so I won't even bother. And we use 16,000 reviewers. These are individuals who are in academia or in business, because we also review small business applications. And we use people from foundations and other places. the chronic fatigue syndrome associated